Hello, welcome back to IT Landy. This time it's exercise 5. We got a few tasks to achieve. This is around load balancing and service discovery. Until now, there have been some restriction to scale properties, surfaces. In this exercise, we will do the replica set for the pod on dynamic port mapping to eliminate the port resource constraint during scaling up activities. Kubernetes services can discover the port assigned to each pod, allowing you to run multiple instances of the pod on the same agent node. Something that it is not possible when you configure specific static ports such as 3001 for the API service. So remember, dynamic, yeah? Let's start. Create public load balancer for the service. An external, assuming this your Kubernetes will be publicly available, you can do a private one as well. Create an external access to the pod required load balancing. You define the web service for this one, load balancer, in the YAML file description, and you can access the web application using public API. In this task, we will change the API service type to load balancer, and we change the IP address to the AKS, public facing load balancing IP address. From the navigation menu, select service under discovery, load balancing. This is again, browse localhost on port 8001, the dashboard. From view surface list, select API surface, edit, select dialog box, and then change it from cluster IP to load balancing IP. Okay. Again, you can do this with the YAML file, but I'm just click this. Here we go. We've changed it from cluster to a load balancing. Yeah, the type. Then what will happen next? We'll enter a pending state, which means it will update it, restart. When the API surface is ready again, you will have an external endpoint. You can select the hyperlink and navigate to external endpoint on port 3001, start path, and you can see the JSON file, and you can utilize the same statistics here on that port. So what we did, we exposed it externally. Hopefully you don't do this without TLS and certificate and firewalls. Next, we need to scale surface without port constraint. You remember we mentioned earlier we need to make sure it does not complain about the port of the container. So on this task, we will reconfigure the API deployment so that it will produce a pod that choose dynamic host port for routing from the Azure load balancer. From the navigation menu, select deployment. Under workload, select the API deployment, edit deployment with the following. Go all the way down, set the scale replica to 4, assume you got enough resources. Within the replica spec, beneath the template, under the API, remove the host port entry mapping. Yeah, so the port, if you remember, if I go back earlier, it was just to show you the before and after. Yeah, remember this one, line number 38, we go the port, and then we go start. Okay, we removed it. Okay, update, and then wait. It takes time, few minutes, and then to refresh, and then the API service can now scale up to 4 pods since it's no longer constrained on the instance per node, which we had previously using 3001. Return to the browser and refresh the API start endpoint previously. Now you can see on second browser that the stats are healthy. Next, what we will do, we will update, the surface support dynamic service discovery without a load balancer. The API service does not need to have public endpoint to take advantage of dynamic port discovery. This is really crucial. Earlier, we did add public load balancer with an external endpoint to observe dynamic discovery to learn about constraints. Now you will restore the API service to its original preparation following the below. Again, dashboard, discovery, load balancing, edit, scroll down to the load balancing, change it to cluster IP if you remember, and remove the node port settings from that as well. Yeah, port cluster rather than load balancing, and you put when the deployment update is completed, the API service is ready, you will no longer be able to access that from the public endpoint. You will update the web service to support dynamic discovery, but you will still be able to access the web application path as before using the host name, yeah, and task. Right, that's all what I had for you for today. Let's catch up on the final part. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.